Yo, it's your bro True Jew here tapping in with you. Yeah, you read that right. The rainbow of God versus the rainbow of the LGBTQ community. Now, what's going on with this? I know I was looking at this before, and at first I was kind of like, man, I see these cats commandeering days of the week. They done got a whole month. Now, now they done got the rainbow. What's really going on? You got the women trying to be men, talking about they better than men, hate men, but want to be better than the men, dressing like a man. Then you got the men that's hating their mama, their auntie, their daughter, their sister, talking about they better than the women and want to dress like women. And it's a bunch of confusion. And honestly, y'all, as I look deep into this, it's a propaganda to continue a form of population control. They banking on my generation and every generation that comes after mine to be numb to this propaganda in order to just go with it and go with the flow on it so that we don't want to have children or so that we would participate in this lifestyle that's not going to produce the generations that should come out of us as the Most High Mama and Papa intended. Now, I had to look at this because at first I was kind of in my feelings a little bit when it came to this rainbow because I know, according to the Bible, the rainbow was a sign from God to let us know that He wouldn't flood the earth anymore by water. Okay, now in that same Bible, it do tell us that it ain't gonna be a flood next time, it's gonna be the fire next time, right? So this global warming that's taking place, I really want y'all to think about that for a second. And maybe I'll do a video on the global warming and what's really going on with that as well. But it's definitely a correlation between the fire next time as the world heats up. But I want to get back to the rainbow. During when the rainbow took place, one of the things that I find interesting about the rainbow is not necessarily the rainbow itself, but why the rainbow was created by God in the first place as a symbol that the world wouldn't be flooded by water anymore. And it was created as the very symbol, as the reason why the world was flooded. And the rainbow that the LGBTQ community uses is like it's such an oxymoron because the rainbow was a symbol that preceding the rainbow that the world was in a place of perverseness in a stage of mass homosexuality in a state of a lot of murder and killing and debasement, right? And those were the days of Noah. That's why in the Bible, some books ahead, we read that when you see the world moving as in the days of Noah, you'll know that the Son of Man is going to return. The King, Yahshua, is going to return with a sword and start slicing and dicing. And it's going to be ugly out here, right? It's going to be uglier, but it's going to be the sign of the new kingdom to come. And just like back in Noah's day, when we saw that perverseness, we're seeing that same perverseness now. So it's ironic that the LGBTQ community would commandeer or attempt to commandeer the very symbol of that perverseness being healed in the land up until now this point, right? So keep that in mind too. But I wanted to just highlight some differences that people who might have gotten their feelings that were Bible believing or spiritually based people who trusted the word in its different forms, how it was distributed through man to us by the Most High. I wanted y'all to think about this for a second. And me being an artist, I had to really look at this from an observatory standpoint. Okay, because at first I was like, man, they didn't got a whole month. They didn't did all this other stuff now, trying to play our children, our babies, trying to play our brothers and our sisters against one another, trying to get a gender war popping off, and it's just not balanced at all. In the meantime, if you speak on it, you the one who probably get attacked for it when we supposed to live in a country of free speech, right? The cartoons then got overran by the agenda. Everything is just messed up and confusing, right? So I began to look at the LGBT rainbow, and the first thing I noticed that it is different than the rainbow that God created. The LGBT community rainbow has six colors to it. Yeah, if you go look at it, it might look like the regular rainbow, but it's not. It got six colors to it versus the seven colors of God's rainbow. Now, a little science on the rainbow. The reason we see seven main colors of the rainbow is due to the hard angles of light as the light is refracted from the sun and reflected onto droplets of moisture in the air, which cause us to see the seven primary colors. Now, back in the day, those seven primary colors was Roy G. Biv: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. But today, in modern times, that Roy G. Biv kind of changed up to Roy G. C. Biv. if you will. And it's red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue, and violet today. But nonetheless, it's still seven main colors. Now, the colors of the LGBTQ community, they're all those colors, I think, except for I forget which one's in there. I know they omitted a couple of them because at first it was eight colors. Anything to get away from the seven colors of God, though, is my point. Now, they have a meaning for their rainbow, and I'm going to touch on that real quick. The meaning of their colors in their rainbow stand for life, healing, sunlight, nature, serenity, and spirit. And the two they got rid of stood for sex and magic. Okay? I think it was pink and turquoise that they got rid of. Now, the rainbow of God, not only does it stand for a sign and symbol that the world wouldn't be flooded anymore, but there are also some metaphysical properties and principles located within the seven colors, the seven primary colors of God. Now, you have to remember the human eye, depending on who you are and how you see, can actually take in up to a minimum of 100 hues of color and maybe more, depending on how you see, right? Now, those 100 hues are spread across the spectrum of light as the sun shines over moisture, as the sunlight emits its rays of light. That's where we get hues and different colors in the spectrum. Now, one thing that's really cool about these hues is that the seven primary colors are also correlated with vibration, they're correlated with music, they correlate with the 7 days of the week. Okay, so when you look at an octave, not an octave, excuse me, because that's eight. When you look at the seven notes of music, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, and then of course do makes an octave. But you look at do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. These are all different frequencies, okay? And those frequencies, even though they're sound, are also associated with frequency found in light and in color. Proof of this is something called synthesia. Synesthesia. Okay, now synesthesia is when you hear music, but you see shapes and colors. And chromesthesia is when that sound is converted to color. Okay, yeah, sound to color synesthesia is called chromesthesia. And individuals on earth actually have the ability to see and hear, or hear sound and actually see color. So that's proof that all of that is correlated, and that's a gift from God. That's something that takes place due to a metaphysical property in creation itself. Now, the LGBTQ community obviously is not going to be able to replicate that in its full sense. But what they have attempted to do was take that symbol and use it as a symbol of peace and those other principles: life, healing, sunlight, nature, serenity, and spirit. They've used it within their own agenda, okay, to kind of get people, well, not kind of, to get individuals off of the karma associated with the original rainbow. That's why I said it's ironic that they would choose that symbol, which was a symbol that came after post flood, in order to remind people that were on earth at that time after the flood of why the flood even took place: the perverseness, homosexuality, murder, killing, debasement. We're seeing a lot of that right now. And instead of the symbol reminding us of those things and to keep our lives upright and righteous, now that symbol has technically been commandeered by the LGBTQ community to cause us to forget why the rainbow is even in existence. That's why the Most High said it won't be by water next time that this world go. It's going to be by the fire. Something to think about, y'all. Look, try not to be disturbed. Try not to allow that disturbance, if you do, throw off your balance. You have to stay steady and you have to stay sharp out here because, hey, like the Bible say too, the devil is raging like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. And that's real, y'all. Don't allow what's happening to even destroy your heart space, to even throw off your heart chakra. You got to stay grounded, got to stay focused. But you do have to know that there's some ploys and plots against all of us to throw us off from our righteous purpose here on this earth. Look, it's your bro True Jew tapping in the only way I know how, raw and uncut. You know I love you to life. Most High Mama and Papa willing, I'll be back with another one. But until then, gone.